Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Wise Tips. Eduardo, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing? You look like you've moved again.
On the road. Yeah, that's good. I love it. Today I'm at the Brazos Valley, close to Stephenville, Texas.
Oh, I'm
And
so jealous.
quick shout out here to Aaron, Maria, Gabby, Dr. Riggs, Lisa. Um, Everybody's treating us so well here, and it's crazy to see Frank. I had a great time with Frank as well, talking about what's coming about the contracts and stuff. Um, DocuSign integration and all that good stuff. So thank you guys for having us and sharing your thoughts. And we're gonna bring lots of candies and more features to Wise Options. So good to go. We are on the road, and I love it.
Awesome. Well, let's get right into it. I know we had plans today to talk about some of the new features in the contracts module. However, after we discussed it, and we'll have a new version coming out a little bit later this week with some additional features on the contracts module as well, we figured we just want to make sure we cover as much as we can in one. So we're going to push that contracts talk to the next Wise Tips here the following Tuesday. And today we thought we'd kind of start off with something that's been in Wise Option now for about, I think it's been there for, I guess, 2 years now. I'd say about 2 years that we want to talk about today with breeding season and everybody starting their palpations and breedings now. I want to make sure that everyone's getting the most out of this particular feature that helps breeding managers and vets cohesively communicate with the people who are helping to actually grab those mares and bring them to the stock. So we're going to start off by talking about the relationship between the daily worksheet and the mobile app and how those can communicate seamlessly for those people who are helping to grab mares from the stocks. If you're not using this and you are a breeding facility, you need to be. So
Yeah,
Eduardo, I
well,
will give it over to you.
we have seen so many places that's still creating maps on Excel. Um,
Yeah.
Probably this is a good alternative. Instead of crafting reports and building, I think this is. We have seen very successfully some operations working with this integration with the mobile app, so it replaces the map. So just a suggestion. I hope some of you can, take the opportunity.
Definitely. Well, let's get started. We have our demo app open, of course, here. It's all fake data, but we use this for testing and, of course, playing around like days like today. So Eduardo is going to show us here how to get started with that.
Well, I would start with the Mare records just to remind people how easy it is to put mares in the daily worksheet. Mare records is always a good solution for checking the last time they have been visited as well as when they are rescheduled for. Of course, this is a fake database, but I'm going to just pick a few mares here so we can, make sure that we have somebody in the daily worksheet. I'm just going to, instead of tomorrow, I'm going to put in the list for today. And as simple as that, just use the checkbox in the mare records and you select the mares and those mares in your calendar for that day. So from here, I could just easily, once those mares are scheduled, I just move to the daily worksheet, either using this button here, shortcut on the bottom, but also we also have the mare management button here on this corner, which is a nice button. Every module in the Mare Management will have this button here, which is just a shortcut to all the options you have in the Mare Management in Wise Option. So from here, just go to my daily worksheet, and as simple as that, of course, the daily worksheet now is going to show as a new tab. So my Mare records where I started, and now the daily worksheet is here. And sure enough, the mares that I scheduled are present in my daily worksheet. So now that I have, 6 reminders in the Mare instantly, just because I created a daily worksheet, sure enough, when I go to my mobile app, and if you have that in your pocket, down here where you see the more, you click on more from the main screen and you select location management. And that's going to bring typically all your active, your inventory for active horses. But on the settings on this corner here, you can just go there and you're going to have some filters. So through the filters, we are going, instead of all active patients, I'm going to say, in this case here, I'm going to say palpation all. You have a few options: palpation checked only, palpation not checked only. I would recommend for you guys to play with them. So basically, not checked only, as you check, a mare gets out of the list. So the list gets shorter, shorter, shorter. But if I leave palpation only all, it means once the mare is checked, she remains in the list, just you're going to see a cross line showing that she has been checked already. So as soon as I check that, now you're going to see that here on the top, I'm going to have 6 mares in 3 different locations, which are exactly the 6 mares we have in the daily worksheet. So if I click on this little plus here on top, it expands all the mares, and we're going to have all the mares. Basically, this is the location map.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the guys who are on the field getting the mares, so as soon as they cut some mares and they are ready to move, you just swipe one and you set as cut. And it's going to put that little flag. So this is not setting as checked. This is just saying that we already separate that mare. So she's cut off for the list. And that's how you operate with the, both things happening at the same time. Not forgetting to mention that our daily worksheet now in the desktop, you also have the authorization code for the browser. So if you want to have one of those TVs hanging there, you're going to see all your daily worksheet, and the guys out there are getting the mares, they're cutting them. The board is going to show which mares are already separated. And as soon as the process keeps going, mare record is activated. If she's a breeder for the day, you can put her in the calendar. If she is already palpated, you enter the palpation. The charge for palpation is already there. So everything happens at the same time, cutting redundancies and increasing efficiency. Did I forget anything?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. And if you guys have any questions about this, please do reach out, because there's a lot of different ways people use this. As Eduardo was saying, using that set as cut, that may not be applicable to everyone, and you may have questions about how this may, how utilizing this for your particular operation. So please give us a call, let us know. However, if you're a breeding facility using Wise Option, utilizing the daily worksheet, I do highly encourage you to utilize this in combination with your mobile app.
All right.
So the next thing I have on the list here, we're running out of time here, and I told everyone I was going to be better, so we're going to try and keep this under 10 minutes today. We're getting slowly but steadily shorter. The next one I have here on the list is for us to go to our procedure manager. This one here on the procedure manager, it's actually a new feature that we added this year. And this what we call cloning reminders. So we all have scenarios where potentially we've scheduled several mares or several patients for reminders. And we'd like to easily reschedule those patients again for those same reminders for those same patients at a future date. So a common one may be you've scheduled these 4 specific horses to be trimmed, and you want to schedule them again for 4 weeks from now to be trimmed again. You can easily clone those reminders with those patients for a future date. And then, of course, then you can just set those reminders as done as you normally would, but you would not have to go through that extra work of doing the multiple data entry and adding those reminders again for all those patients. So Eduardo's going to demonstrate that here.
The Wise Option is going to respect based on the list of procedures for the day. So the first thing that I would recommend, either by utilizing view number 1 or view number 2, depending the 2 different views. The view number 1 is where you're going to have different options on selecting. We can give you a training on that. Most popular, I would say, view number 1, because it's the easiest one to operate. View number 2, it's a more advanced mode, but I will not go into the views here. Once you have the records on your screen, you just use the check boxes. You just select the procedures that you want to happen again. And just as easy as that, you go here down and you select the button to clone your reminders. So as soon as I click on the clone reminders, let me pick one of here.
I think because maybe those were procedures.
Okay. Yes,
Wise
probably.
Option is always making sure that we do the right things at the right time.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm doing the wrong things.
You cannot break it, right?
Exactly.
So,
we did not put a self-destruct button here, and that's the reason why.
okay, so let me pick this too, and I'm gonna go here in the clone reminders now. All right. So once I have the option, and before setting them is done, of course. So it will respect the patient, it will respect the task or the charge code that you used, and basically it's going to ask you based on your selection to put in a calendar, and I want to put that for 2 days ahead and submit. So now it's creating those reminders for 2 days ahead. Once I have that done, from my reminders, they remain checked. And from this point here, you just can set them as done and you
Yeah,
keep going with your procedures. So down here, you can
exactly.
operate and set as done. And now the reminders for today will become procedures performed. But before you're going that route, you already shoot the clone of those reminders to a future date.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad we got to this last one. I really wanted to make sure we got to it since it is so new and not very many people have seen it yet. So I'm glad that we were able to go over that. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Of course, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And we will see you again next week.
I will see you again. See you. Bye.
Bye.